Hello, hello. I am Cindy Ola coming to you with a few tips on how to tell the difference between your intuition and a trauma response. I got a few notes laid out here so I don't lose track and I cover everything that I want to cover. Okay, first of all, your intuition is the voice of your heart. It's the voice of your soul and that most magical part of you. That voice is also guiding you to living your best life, not just for yourself, but also for those that you serve and for your family as well. We all have an intuitive voice and feeling, and it comes through us in very unique ways. Some of us may have closed down our intuition at a young age because it wasn't encouraged to be developed, but know that your intuition never leaves you, and it's because your highest self never leaves you. I know that most of us at some point has probably confused a trauma response with an intuitive message because they run through the same systems in our body, and it can be tricky to discern one from the other. There really isn't a one-size-fits-all guide to intuition because we do all experience it differently in our bodies, and you must learn how your intuition works through you. However, there are some commonalities that I have found helpful. Now, I've got 4 tips for you here today. The first one is that your intuition is always going to be anchored in the present moment, whereas a trauma response will be triggered from the past. A trauma response is formed from experiences in the past that we don't want to continue to repeat. It comes from an internal desire to protect you from harm and to protect you from hurt and from any of those kind of hurtful or harmful experiences that you may have had before. A trauma response will also feel familiar. It will feel safe, and it will want to keep things the same because change it can be considered dangerous to aspects of our ego and aspects of ourselves that we have cultivated to try to keep us safe. All right, so intuition is anchored in the present moment, whereas a trauma response is triggered from the past. An intuitive message will feel fresh with no baggage from the past attached to it. Since an intuitive message comes from the present moment, it may also come with a strong urge to act right now. It's common for the urge to not make much sense to you because it's coming from a completely new framework. And that might feel threatening. It might feel threatening to the old you, which wants to keep things the same, which is why your intuition will often play on your bravery and your courage. It will ask you to be brave, and it will ask you to be courageous. Okay, number 2, hold on, let me make sure I get the right sheet. Your intuition is clear, and there are no emotional attachments to it. Okay, whereas a trauma response will often trigger your central nervous system. And when your central nervous system is triggered, that's when anxiety comes up, stress and fear also come up. A trauma response very often comes after an intuitive message. In other words, it rides the coattails of an intuitive hit, telling you not to follow your intuition. It will try to convince you not to act upon your intuition because it's wanting to keep things the same, and it will come up with thoughts like, what are you thinking? Oh, don't do that, because if you do it, you're gonna fail. They're self-sabotaging thoughts, right? They're self-sabotaging thoughts to keep you within a framework that you already know. It will say things like, what will other people think? You just shouldn't do that altogether. Those thoughts, they're not your intuition, but they're instead protective thought patterns. If you do feel an emotion from your intuition, it's going to most likely be life-affirming, and it's going to be loving, but rarely fear-based unless you are in actual danger, like clear and present danger, like being chased by a bear kind of danger. But that's a whole different level of intuition. That's a whole different situation, okay? All right, number 3, hold on, let me get here. Your intuition, it will never play on your desperation, or it will never play on you feeling naive about something, okay? Hold on, let me get these notes. This is a big one too, y'all, okay, because it prevents you from being taken advantage of. A trauma response coming from desperation can lead you down this kind of yucky road of manipulation. Here's a hint. If you feel a wounded inner child or an inner teenager or a wounded adult coming up from inside of you, before you make any kind of drastic decision, stop, breathe, and see if you can connect with your breath and start to connect with something bigger. And ask that inner party, that inner wounded part of yourself, what it actually wants and what it actually needs, and listen to what it has to say before making a decision to listen to something else outside from you that's going to lead you in the wrong direction. Remember, your intuition, that highest, most magical part of you, is always going to lead you down the road of your success, and that your intuition will not play on your emotions, including feelings of false excitement. Your intuition should equal discernment and empowerment, okay? It's going to lead you away from people or ideas that want to manipulate you and play upon your weaknesses, okay? So that's an important one. Okay, and then we got number 4. Hold on, let me find my sheet. Your intuition, it will never be angry, bullying, or judgmental. The voice of your intuition can be soft, it can be firm, it can be loud sometimes if it needs to be, but it's not going to be deprecating to you. The voice of your intuition will speak up when it matters, and it will uphold your sacred purpose. It will give you clear direction and tell you what you need to hear. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always going to tell you what you want to hear. Regardless, your intuitive feelings and messages, it will never belittle or frighten you, but it might disappoint your ego from time to time. Okay, so remember, there is no rule book to intuition. However, regulating your nervous system and doing things that help to clear old traumas and fears from the body will help clear the path for your intuitive self to come through. Consider things like yoga or counseling or energy healing or meditation or any kind of personal development that's going to help you with that. Okay, just begin to recalibrate your nervous system, start to do work to help to navigate through the traumas that you hold in your body, to either integrate them or to release them, to understand them, so that you know what your intuition actually feels like. You hold the wisdom of all the ages. Believe it and believe it in yourself. Feel comfortable in your own skin and trust yourself. That's a big one too. It's not on my little notes, but trust yourself. Learn how to trust your intuition. Learn how to have faith in that part of you that knows and that's going to lead you on your path to success, to peace, to joy, and to all those beautiful things that we want. Be compassionate towards yourself. You will screw up and you will make the wrong decisions. We've all done it. Give yourself grace. Take the wisdom that you learn from past mistakes, learn from them, grow from them, move on, because it will only make you wiser and stronger. Thank you for tuning in, my friends. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.